The jury finds aggravating factors in the 5 murders at Pharaoh's Bar. Now we'll move on to phase 2 in Dexter Lewis's death penalty case. It's the second high-profile death penalty case we've seen in Colorado in just the past few months. The last person executed in Colorado was Gary Davis. 7 News reporter Lance Hernandez sat down with the man who prosecuted the Davis case. Lance, Bob Grant tells you going for the death penalty is one of the most difficult decisions a prosecutor will ever make.
That's what he told me, Eric. Bob Grant said, you have to have a strong case that's beyond a shadow of a doubt, support from the victims' families, believe in your heart that it's the right thing to do, and believe you have the evidence and that the defendant is the kind of guy the jury is going to say deserves to look the devil in the eye. Is the death penalty an effective deterrent?
I believe it is. I believe it is. I know Gary Davis won't kill anybody else.
Gary Davis was executed for kidnapping, raping, and murdering Jeannie Davis. He only spent 10 years on death row.
First of all, Gary Davis was executed because he wanted to be executed.
Former DA Bob Grant says the end came relatively quickly because Davis told his attorneys to stop the appeals process. I asked if it's just coincidence that 2 death penalty cases were underway at the same time this summer.
It's unusual in the same sense that it's unusual that there are mass murders within 6 months of each other.
12 people were killed at a movie theater on July 20th, 2012. 3 months later, 5 people were stabbed to death at Pharaoh's Bar and Grill. We asked what factor pushes the decision toward seeking death.
One of the aggravating factors, and perhaps the paramount one in the state of Colorado, is cruel, heinous, and depraved.
Davis kidnapped his victim from in front of her 3 children. He raped her and then shot her with a rifle 14 times.
That's what sets these cases apart. They're not just killing. They're cruel, they're heinous, they're depraved killing, they're torturous killing.
Now, I asked Mr. Grant about the future of the death penalty here. He said you can't look at the Holmes trial and draw any conclusions because the mental health issue is what the jury focused on. Now, while some people say the death penalty is too expensive to carry out, Grant says it's defense attorneys who create the cost and defense attorneys who whine about them. He says he'd like to see what the governor promised years ago, a public dialogue about the death penalty. I'm Lance Hernandez reporting.